Because we're in that time of the year. We're in the festive time of the year, the Christmas season. This is a very festive time of year. It's a very cozy time of year if you live in somewhere where it's cold and wintry, and whole Christmas spirit and Santa Claus and giving gifts. And even, a lot of the Muslim community gets caught up in this whole time of the year and don't see many wrongs in practicing Christmas, because Christmas has become very commercialized. I'm here to tell you today, brothers and sisters, we only have two festivals: Eid al-Fitr, which is at the end of Ramadan, and Eid al-Adha, which is at the end of Hajj. That's it. And we have every Friday, which is a small Eid. These are enough for us. As the torchbearers of monotheism in the world today, Muslims should be on the forefront of denying practices that associate partners with the Creator God, Allah.
Assalamualaikum, ladies. This is sort of like special because I guess most of our admins are all together. So today I have Fatima with me, Queenie, Ashley, and of course, me, your host, Khadija Kimchi. And what are we talking about today, guys?
Christmas.
Shirkmas, Christmas.
I was like, should I say Shirkmas or Christmas?
Shirkmas, Christmas. Both are right. Okay, so that's right. So we're gonna be talking about Shirkmas, all its glory in hell, LOL. So let's just cut right to it. So I sent a video on the background of all of this shirk upon shirk, aka paganism upon paganism, by Yusha Evans, who we all know is a popular da'i who knows quite a bit about Christianity. This was my first time listening and I guess reading in detail about Christmas. I was really shocked to learn about the origins of Xmas, as well as all the little nooks and crannies I never thought would be associated with shirk. Let's start off with Fatima. Can you give us a quick intro, first of all, about yourself and tell us a bit about what you know about Christmas?
Assalamualaikum. So my intro about myself, I guess, is that I've been Muslim for a little over 8 years, alhamdulillah. My background, I guess, is like a not very practicing Christian family growing up, and I never really believed that Jesus was the Son of God. So I kind of like searched for a while and eventually came to Islam. You guys can listen to the Camellia's Bloom podcast. In the first season, I'm on the
That's episode. Right. Insert promo here.
Yeah. And hear the whole episode, inshallah, about how I became Muslim. But actually, it's really interesting because when I was going to church, like we went to like an evangelical church, they actually talked about like some of the like pagan origins of Christmas and then just kind of brushed it off, basically. So it was like, we're still celebrating the birth of Jesus. So it doesn't matter as long as it makes your kids happy, kind of thing. So
wow.
Very, they acknowledged it but didn't really care.
Crazy.
So that was kind of like my experience. Everybody has a Christmas tree. There were Christmas trees in the church.
What?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
All that kind of stuff. So yeah, I kind of knew a lot of those things. I didn't know some of the stuff that was like in the video. Like it talked about gingerbread and those kind of I didn't know all of that aspect, but I did know about like the Saturnalia origins and about Saint Nicholas and stuff like that. And the commercialization for sure with Coca-Cola. I told my husband that the other day and he was like, "What?"
I had no idea. I was what? I was the same. I had no idea.
Yeah, so I'm excited to get into this conversation, inshallah.
Walaikum salam. Okay, so I'm Ashley. My brain is half power right now.
Thank you for joining us.
I grew up in the U.S. And whenever I tell people that I grew up in the U.S., they're like, "Oh, where?" And I'm like, I grew up in Arkansas. And nobody knows where Arkansas is. But it is the South. And that is the Bible Belt, you guys. I went to school with people. Everybody went to church. I forgot that they even went to church because let's face it, nobody's really practicing. But you just say you go to church on Sundays. So I didn't start going to church until I was 12. And I went till I was about 16 because my parents split up and things got hard. But I was always even from a very young age, before church was even introduced to me, as a regular thing, I was always in search of that relationship with God. And so throughout college and stuff, I would go to like non-denominational like meetings and churches and stuff. And like even in high school, I did a Bible like class on Fridays during lunch. Like that's how like,
wow, so dedicated.
Yeah, I was like dedicated.
Yeah, wow.
So then, yeah, in college, I was like, like these non-denominational churches, they seem all right. Like I'm kind of feeling it, but I was never consistent. And like, it was like something was always missing. And then I found Islam like later after like, I started, oh my gosh, my brain, you guys. So I started participating in World Hijab Day. And so like, I became friends with all these Muslims and I'm like, man, they're like the nicest people in the world. And then I just like dived into learning more. And at the time I was just like trying to be an advocate for these women. And then I just fell in love with it and I converted.
Right.
And then I was like,
right. And your episode is which one? I always get all the numbers mixed up.
Girl, I don't even know.
I think 40. Yours is close to Queenie's, I think.
I know it's like further down. I thought it was like 38 or something, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, guys, just check it out. Like
my story is there.
Look, yeah, her story is there.
I will say that the things that I knew about Christmas, like I feel like growing up, I probably didn't know anything, but like later, like doing a little research, I was like, oh, it's a pagan thing, and like these Christmas trees are a pagan thing. But I was real shooketh to learn about like the origins of like gingerbread men cookies. Like I'll never look at one of those the same again. Like,
yeah, same. And I love like gingerbread cookies. So sad.
Yeah, same. So I was like, I'll just make gingerbread dough and like cut it into different shapes. I never thought about how like as Muslims, like we shouldn't participate in like, obviously like not everyone calls it Secret Santa. I've done something before in the past before I was Muslim called Secret Snowflake. So when I was watching this video,
that's hilarious.
I made my husband watch the video with me and I was like, so for Eid, we should have secret sheep. Who's my secret sheep?
That's actually really funny.
I thought it was. I liked it. But yeah,
it was very
I did know that Coca-Cola created the Santa that we see today everywhere. I did know that. I heard that growing up. I think my mom knew that. She had done a little digging, but that's pretty much all I knew. And now I've learned so much more and it's like, wow.
Yeah, right? Like, so like I had no idea about all of these things until I watched the podcast. Okay, so let's hear from Queenie. So a little intro about yourself and what do you know about Xmas?
Okay. Assalamualaikum. I knew about the Santa Claus thing. Oh, right. Intro. Sorry, my mind.
It's okay.
Right. Okay. Introduction. I am in Canada. I'm in the West Side. Completely opposite from Ashley. What am I supposed to say?
Just say your episode number, like for more details about yourself.
My episode number is 41, I believe. So go check that out. And what I know.
Yeah, and so that's it. What do you know about Christmas? So you said Santa Claus?
Yeah, I knew about the Santa Claus thing. I didn't know about the other stuff. I'm just completely shocked about how everything's connected to sinister things that we'll talk about later on.
Same. My knowledge about Christmas is so limited, and I actually just did it for like the family, like family and the gifts. And I never went to like the what is it, Christmas Mass? I've never been to that. Let's move on. All right, so let's share with our listeners where this holiday originated from and what this shirk is all about. So, Christmas, where did it come from and what is it? Like, what is behind all of this? Who wants to go first? Who wants to answer? Who's ready?
I can kind
Fatima?
of answer.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. I think you're ready. I know you're ready.
So, we know that, like, the early Christians and the people around Jesus, peace be upon him, like, they didn't celebrate Christmas. It kind of came And you guys definitely need to like listen to or the podcast by Yusha Evans. I feel like that's really good to get all this information. But basically, like the early Romans were pagans, and they celebrated a holiday called Saturnalia. And I'm not going to go into all the details about it, but basically, in order to get a majority of like political gain in that region, and like to get people to stop practicing the pagan holiday and start like becoming Christian and realizing that they could have their pagan holidays with their Christian practices, like to basically get people to join Christianity, they adopted the practice of Saturnalia and like basically turned it into Christmas. And so a lot of like that was like the basic origin of the original holiday, and then like a lot of different pagan practices kind of like got added into it. And in the podcast he also talked about like Saint Nicholas and how that kind of developed from the actual Saint Nicholas, who was
from Turkey,
part of the Council of Nicaea.
Yeah, insane.
Which is the whole thing.
Insane. I was so shocked.
And then like developing, like when it was interesting too in the podcast, it also talked about how like the Puritans were like a Christian movement in the 1600s, kind of like they basically stopped celebrating Christmas, and so in the early colonies they banned Christmas for several years because they knew the pagan origins of it. And then it also it talked about in the podcast as well, which I kind of knew before because my family is like half German, but that the Christmas tree has like a German origin, and it also comes from like Yule and the northern like Scandinavian countries, when they were pagan, used to celebrate these holidays, and a lot of it was just Christianity trying to gain political control over an entire continent.
Which is absolutely crazy. Like when you look at like the actual reason, it's so crazy.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I've seen like recently some Christians realizing that it's pagan and not wanting to participate in some of the practices.
Yes, I saw a few videos on TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think that's so interesting, subhanAllah.
Even like subhanAllah, like some Christians are getting the memo, you know, but it doesn't seem like
that was something that
the Muslims care.
Yusha Evans actually mentioned that in his podcast too, that like Christians shouldn't be celebrating Christmas, like you know, and that Jesus wasn't even born on that December 25th at all, or even in that time of year.
Right. He was saying it was the warm season. Season.
Yeah, I think I've heard some people say like August to September, but it has to do with like when the date palms were ripening, according to the Quran. And then even in the Bible, which I don't think he actually mentioned that specific thing, but in the Bible they talk about like the shepherds being out and like herding the sheep, which is not something you do in the middle of winter.
That's so funny. Okay, so
you really need to like watch that podcast, and also like even on history.com there's articles about it, and other articles, like there's plenty of articles online, like you can literally Google like the origins of Christmas, not from a Muslim perspective, just in general, and like you'll find plenty of pagan ideologies mixed in,
and you'll basically read like the same things. Every website, it's pretty much more or less the same. Okay, so let's move on to Ashley.
I just knew that it went back to paganism, and so it did make me like wonder, like, how did this come to be? And so until I watched the show, it's a podcast, right? It was just on YouTube, so I was like,
or show, whatever,
whatever you want to call it. And so I was like, wow. And you know, growing up, I really loved my Christmas tree, but now that I know that how dark everything is, I don't know if I can ever look at a Christmas tree again. And I feel like we have to tell some of the listeners, like, gingerbread cookies, you guys, I'll never look at one the same again, because when he said that they talked about human sacrifice and the people who were like, oh, we can't sacrifice one, so we're going to eat this cookie shaped like a person. I feel like it really puts it into perspective. Like, it kind of takes some of that nostalgia and like away from me. I don't think I'm going to look at it the same. And I'm like, I should really send this to my family and be like, guys. I feel like they don't know. There's so many people who don't know.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I didn't even know, you know, like I think a lot of people just do it because it's so commercialized. It's a commercialized holiday.
Right.
It's become like such a commercialized holiday.
Yeah, and I think it's gotten to the point where some people are like, not even like Christian, and they're like, you know what, I just like it. It just, you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
They're like, I love this Christmas tree and I want to give gifts, and like it's just like part of, you know, they go with the flow. But
right, and that's how Shaitan leads. That's how it starts with Shaitan, you know.
Exactly.
Okay, and so what about Queenie? Anything to add to Fatima and Ashley's points?
When I was listening to the whole podcast, there were like a couple of things that stuck out to me, but I don't quite remember the exact details.
Okay,
so
tell me what it
confusing.
was, because I took notes.
Okay, the mistletoe and Yuletide carolers.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
he
yes.
said that the carolers happened because of Saturnalia, and they used to like go around to people's houses naked and like singing.
Right. That.
Yeah. And the Yule log thing too.
Yeah, the Yule log was from the northern like pagans, like the Norse pagans, that they used to bring in the Yule log during the winter time, and then they also were the ones who brought in the Christmas trees to kind of like symbolize like that they would have hope for the harvest, like that there was still greenery like in their home basically. And they used to like, they all had I remember about the mistletoe we were talking about. Mistletoe was talking about like that it was like a fertility practice or something, like that you kiss under the mistletoe, and it was like to worship the god of fertility or something like this.
That is just insane. So it's basically shirk upon shirk upon shirk.
Mm-hmm. And they said that holly berries were supposed to be the food of the gods.
Oh, subhanallah. Like when you actually like dig deep, or just dig, not even dig deep, when you just dig into the origins and like the history of Christmas, like you find more than you're looking for.
This is true of
really
many holidays, like many of the
that's right.
SubhanAllah, like
You have a point. Okay, so let's see. Moving right along. So, knowing about the origins, of course, you know, we have to hear your experiences of having actually lived that, like the life before Islam and participated in these festivities. You know, I'm sure a lot of us are curious, including myself, to hear how it was like for you. So tell us a little bit about how it was like, you know, partaking in this holiday, and then when you became Muslim, like the transition after you converted. Was it easy? Was it difficult? You know, Ashley mentioned like nostalgia, of course. So let's hear a little bit about that. Who wants to go first? Who would like to go this time?
I'll go.
Okay, go ahead.
So, man, Christmas was like the bomb when I was a kid. It was great. There were presents. We stayed up late. It was awesome. I was like 8 years old when I found out Santa wasn't real.
guys, I was 13, don't judge me.
Oh wow. 13?
Bless your heart.
Who are you?
I think it's because my mom always just gave me like books from Santa, so I just thought like Santa's like just gives us random stuff. It doesn't really matter. So I was like, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like
Santa was your mom, basically.
Yeah. My mom just gave us like books from Santa instead of like big presents.
Oh, well, I like books.
Oh my goodness.
But how did somebody not spoil it for you? That is like...
My sister spoiled it for me. She's like, you're too old. How do you not believe? How do you keep...
And your sister's
Also,
younger
than me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, poor you.
Wow. That's so interesting.
Fatima.
Yeah.
It's okay. She had an imaginary friend, so.
I found out by accident, but I don't know that my parents would have let it go that long.
I don't think my
Oh
mom
my
knew
gosh.
that I still believed in Santa. I think she thought I was joking or something.
Oh.
Like for my sister's benefit, because I had like twin, like younger sisters.
Oh, that's so sad.
Oh, that is just so sad. Like,
No judgment.
it's so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking. I mean, like, obviously, alhamdulillah, but like, it's still like, because I remember, like, I used to put like letters in the chimney. And then like Chinese parents, like for my family at least, like my mom never did the whole Santa thing. So I didn't know, like I thought, like I really thought Santa existed. So I would write letters and like put it in the chimney. And the next day I'd be like, oh, like, let me go check. And I would check and the letter was still there. So like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was so sad. And then like, I kept doing that for a couple of years. And then I just realized, okay, there's no such thing as Santa Claus. My parents, the gifts that they gave, like it was never said like from Santa. It was always just like from mom and dad. So yeah, that like kind of ruined it for me.
They're
I mean, I
keeping
guess
it real
in a
with
good-
you.
Yeah, they really did keep it real. Chinese styles. But yeah, sorry, Ashley, going back to you.
Yeah.
How was it like?
It was always like a lot of fun. It was always like very family like oriented for the most part. We always decorated like shortly after Thanksgiving, and I was usually in charge of the tree, which was kind of daunting because we had one of those trees at the time. It was ancient, and it was individual pieces that were color coded.
Oh,
and most
gosh.
of the color stickers were missing, so I had to guess and like measure and be like, you know. And then my
Wow.
mom would come and put the lights on, and then I would get to do the rest by myself. But it was a lot of work. And then my mom would be like, oh, these two red balls are too close to each other. Put a blue or a gold. And I'm like, why
Oh my gosh.
not as good at decorating?
So funny.
But one of the saddest parts about like, I guess in a way giving up the Christmas tree was my mom from the year that I was born up until like sometime after college would buy me a Christmas ornament every year so that when I moved out, I had all these ornaments for my own tree. So like now they're just sitting in a box, probably in my dad's house somewhere. I thought of that later. The first Christmas I didn't have a Christmas tree. I was like, ooh. Or maybe I have them. I don't know. They're somewhere. I think they're my dad's. Because when I moved out, my mom bought me this like, because Christmas trees were like my favorite thing ever. This like 7-foot tall tree that had gold glitter on it. It was so beautiful. And I used it for like 2 years, and then I converted and I was like, bye Christmas tree.
Oh, subhanAllah. Wow, but like, you know what? Like the fact that you said bye Christmas tree, like that's like really good on you, because I think like some people just can't give it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So good
the
for
thing
you.
I liked about it was like growing up, the house would be so dark, and so like during Christmas, we left the tree on all night, and then we just like unplugged. And so like it was just always this nice little glow. You could see the living room from my bedroom. And then when Christmas was over and we took everything down, it was like pitch black again. I was like, oh, I missed the Christmas tree. You know, it was like all the lighting, you know, and they were just so pretty, you know. But
Right. Yeah.
yeah. And so then like after converting, I was like, okay, so like I'll just hang out with my family. Like they're gonna know I don't celebrate Christmas anymore. And they pretty much gave me presents like normal. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Eat with you guys. And then this Christmas before last was the second one. And I wasn't there on Christmas. I was there in between Christmas and like Thanksgiving. And so I wanted to be there for them at that time without like
Right.
participating like totally.
Right. Right.
So now like I do winter decorations just to have like some light outside, like some lights, because it's dark, and let's face it, like I don't want somebody coming up on my porch, you know, in the middle of the night in the dark.
Right.
Or something like that, you know? And so my grandma's like, can I send you winter gifts? You know? So my grandma was just like, I don't know what to do, you know? So they like try to include me somewhat, but then they also like earn my holidays. So
Oh, wow.
that helps a lot. But there are still like those moments where it's like, man, growing up, like Christmas was so special. but that, like my family, they try to understand and like learn, like why I don't participate and things like that. But it is confusing for some people.
Oh, for sure. But I think the fact that they try to include you and they're respectful of your choice not to participate, that's like really actually amazing, mashallah. So what about who wants to go next?
I can go.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I think my experience growing up, like, I don't know, for a while was pretty similar to Ashley, I would say. Like, especially my mom was married to my stepdad. Like, he really, like, loved Christmas. So, like, he would deck out everything. Like, literally, like, our living room would be, like, you could barely walk in on Christmas morning. There would be so many presents. Also, he was a narcissist, so that's part of it. But...
Side note.
But
oh
yeah, so it was like a huge thing to have Christmas, right? Like you had to have like presents, and we would go to church the night before and like have light candles and sing Christmas carols and all this stuff. But then like my mom, after they got divorced, like my mom kind of like, I mean, she was always like say she was spiritual, but I guess like when they got divorced, she didn't feel like she had any kind of pressure to like go to church and those kind of things. So she stopped like celebrating any kind of like religious aspect to Christmas. So it was more like we're just gathering because we're a family and we'll give each other gifts. So it was a bit different.
Right.
But that was like right before I became Muslim, I guess. And then I became Muslim, and I became Muslim in like September in 2013. I don't think like I have ever really celebrated Christmas with them. Like the first year though, I did kind of celebrate Christmas with them, but like I like bought them gifts like a week before, and I was like,
right,
to like try to be like, these are not Christmas presents.
yeah
And like explain them to them. I don't really do that anymore. Now I kind of like give them gifts like throughout the year. Like I think I got my sisters like some like subscription service or something, and then like I get things and I'll give them to them when I see them, like whenever I visit. So I'm not like specifically picking out that holiday, but it's actually okay to like receive gifts. And I actually like found a hadith about it. I don't know if I could, let me share that. Okay. So
yeah, sure.
Ibn Abi Shayba narrated that a woman asked Aisha, actually this is not technically a hadith, but there are hadith about it, but this is like a saying of Aisha. We have some wet nurses from among the Magians, and they have a festival on which they bring us gifts. She said, as far as what is slaughtered for that day, do not eat it, but eat from their vegetables. And there's also an instance of the Prophet ﷺ like receiving a gift for Nowruz, which is like the Persian New Year's, I think, or something like this.
Yeah.
And he accepted the gift, but they didn't like give them gifts. So it's okay to like accept the gifts from them, but don't eat meat.
Yeah, which like I think
days.
some people don't think that it is permissible, I think, but I know this hadith as well.
Yeah, and I think that like, it's not the same as like, your coworker. Your family is like, can be really hard, I feel like, to explain like, I'm not even gonna take something that you thought out and bought for me, like,
yeah. So mean.
Now at this point, like, I don't live in the same city as my family, so like if they were to buy me something, usually they would send it in the mail, and it doesn't come on Christmas anyway. There's no postal delivery on Christmas.
Right.
Now I get
so we're
in the mail. It's definitely not on Christmas anymore. But I just thought of a tradition that I do miss, and that's my grandma. And she started it when my boy cousins were super young, so only like within the last like 10 years, where she would wrap our presents and hide them, and she would give us clues, and we would have a scavenger hunt to go find them. And I would tell you, if I was like, I told her, I was like, I will do this every year. I don't care how old I am. It was so much fun. So I'm like, I'm missing out on that this year. And my grandma never does the Christmas with the family on Christmas Day, because she's like, everybody can do Christmas on Christmas Day with their individual families. So we would always get together like the Sunday before or after or something. But man, the scavenger hunts. And I'm the tallest and the oldest. So mine were always up super high. So mine were hard to find. Man.
That's so funny. We always had I don't know if you ever heard of this. There's like it's like a German tradition where you hide like a pickle ornament on the tree. It's like,
wow.
You I don't actually know the origin of this, but like you hide this ornament on the tree, and then whoever finds it gets like a special present.
Wow.
I think I've heard of that.
So funny. Definitely.
It's Christmas pickle.
Definitely we don't Chinese definitely don't do that.
No.
I don't even think all of like Americans do that. So
yeah, probably. What was I gonna say? Like Queenie, yeah. Queenie, anything? Share.
I used to participate Secret Santas.
With your family?
With my friends, with my family. But right now, like, I'm trying not to participate in all these things of like buying presents and stuff and all that. So I'm gonna try to do what Fatima is doing, where it's just like gifting them things throughout the year rather than gifting them things specifically on their birthday, on Christmas, on like, you know, these Western holidays things. And I'm just like, why do we try to make one day so special? Because any day that Allah gives us another day, it's like, it's already special. The fact that we're still breathing is already special. So
true.
Yep.
Alhamdulillah for that.
Alhamdulillah.
I think that just being grateful for the smallest things and not making it so special is very important, because we need to humble ourselves as well. It's so easy for our egos to like skyrocket because like, oh, this person thought of me on this day because it's my birthday. They recognize that and they think I'm special or da 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 da. No. Facebook notified them, okay, you're not that special. And then there's something on your special ads that came up with like, oh, this could be good for so and so. You bought that for them because of an ad. You didn't think of it by yourself, okay? You're not that special. Anyways, I just believe
like, ouch, but true.
Yeah, I just believe that we should take like cake and presents out of like the special category and just do it every day. Even if it's just like cake, why do you have to wait to someone's birthday to eat cake? You can get cake in a bakery just because you feel like it.
Yes,
right.
Girl, support that.
Yep, same.
It's gonna be our motto on the
It's more.
Bloom.
I feel like
Eat
it's
cake
more
every
special
day.
that way.
Surprise, I bought you a cake. Just
Or like,
because.
you know, like those ready to make sets, you know? You can buy like Betty Crocker stuff, you know?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Those are so good.
Those,
They are the
instant
white one.
cake mix stuff. You can just make it in any given day because you want cake, you know? You don't have to wait till someone's birthday.
It's honestly like such a southern thing. Like my grandma always had like a cake or a pie in the fridge.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my dad's like that. I come over and he's like, I made cake. I'm like, what? And
That's amazing.
He always makes yellow cake, and he recently came to visit me.
I love the yellow cake or whatever birthday cake.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're called.
Butter recipe yellow cake.
He just does like the yellow, regular plain old yellow cake. And so I go to Walmart, and you know, like I still feel like I'm fairly new to Canada. Okay, I've only been here like a year, and I cannot find the cake. So later, my husband and his sister go to Walmart, and they're like trying to find me an already made cake. And they're like, dude, yellow does not exist here. And I'm like, Canadians, man. I don't know what you're talking about. It's a thing, okay? It's really a thing. But apparently yellow cake is not really a huge thing here. There's something called golden cake, and we couldn't find it. So.
Wait, is the yellow cake like pound cake?
No, it's like a regular cake mix, like white chocolate, and then the funfetti cake. But it's literally just called yellow. I'm telling you.
like
How
similar
is
to
yellow
vanilla
a
cake.
flavor?
It's
I
like
don't-
vanilla
it's like-
cake, but it has like a
picture,
buttery kind of
but-
flavor almost.
Yeah.
But it's light, like it's soft?
Yeah.
It's just
Or
like
is it like it's not pound cake texture?
It's not that different from like vanilla cake.
I just
That is
googled
like
yellow.
chiffon.
Wow.
What's wrong with me? Okay. I'm going to sit you guys
Wow.
here, and you're going to be like, I know what you're talking about. Maybe.
Like, yeah, I've never heard of this.
But it's
I
very
just thought that
popular.
yellow cake is like. I thought yellow cake was like birthday cake, like the
We have
white
like
one.
a variety of yellow cakes.
I mean,
I feel like
it basically is.
What?
It's so different.
Wow.
my grandma used to
I'm
make this,
gonna
like,
look for that here.
There's like a sunshine yellow cake too. That's like with like lemon and orange flavor. That's like
Whoa.
the yellow cake, but then it has like those flavorings in it too. And there's also like yellow cake that has like almond flavor.
Okay.
Okay, this is wow to me. Like, wow.
South. Yes.
Crazy.
This,
So we got a little bit sidetracked, so we're gonna get back on track.
this is why we need cake to be like a focus of our everyday lives. Clearly,
Exactly.
we don't have cake enough, guys.
Exactly. Let's make that a thing.
She's like, you love here.
Let's start making that thing.
What are you
Yeah,
laughing?
thanks.
Let's bake together.
Cake
That actually like
20.
kind of gives me like I was gonna mention something too, because like I think that there's a lot of converts that struggle, like if they already have kids that are like with them when they convert, or they have like young children after they convert and they like have to go back to their parents and stuff. I feel like
Right.
sometimes like having those kind of things, like having cake whenever they have good grades, or having, you know, giving them a present for different things, like they make certain achievements at school or something, like I feel like those can like help. And also like obviously celebrating our Eids, but like, you know, doing those things throughout the year and like recognizing them, rather than just centering it around those Christmas thingies and stuff.
Yeah, that's very true. That is very true. Nobody mentioned Christmas songs, and I'm not gonna lie, but
Oh no, I used to
Spill it, girl.
carol
Spill
for
the tea.
Christmas. I used to be in a choir.
I don't even want to go to the store right now to
yeah, like this is one thing that I actually like. I'm not even gonna lie. I wouldn't say like I miss it, but it's very nostalgic. Like I used to love Christmas songs, and I would like blast them even after Christmas and like sing along.
I'm not gonna lie, I still like some Christmas movies. Like
Oh, Home Alone. Home Alone is a
Home Alone?
classic.
I can watch Elf like
Classic.
every day.
Elf, oh my gosh, Elf is so good too. Elf, oh gosh, Will Ferrell is hilarious. Like Elf is a classic too. So funny.
Christmas music, man, that was such a jam. And like, you know, that meme about defrosting Mariah Carey after Thanksgiving gets me every time. I just want to break out that all I want for Christmas is you.
Yeah.
Oh
And I
man,
always wanted to wear one of those sweaters that when you put your arms up, you make a Christmas tree and like little stars attached on your sleeve. I never got to do that. Okay, I'm kind of disappointed. I never got to be a Christmas tree.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, you like
The ugly
you
Christmas
decorate
sweaters.
it in such a way, like with tinsel and little ornaments. And you have a star on one sleeve or in your hand, and you put your arms up above your head in a cone shape, and you're a Christmas tree.
What?
So cute.
Wow,
No, I don't know. You know,
that's crazy.
Ugly,
I've
ugly
never
Eid
seen
sweater.
that.
Can we do ugly Eid sweaters? We're like I'm a sheep.
I'm down.
You know?
Oh my gosh, ugly Eid sweater.
Yeah.
But nothing we wear is ugly.
I don't know if you've seen these sweaters.
You know, it's bad. You could do like, you know,
Words exactly.
some people do all 3 days
Exactly.
of Eid, right? Like I've never done that where like you dress up for all 3 days. So like,
Oh God.
That's for
Oh,
Eid
no.
al-Adha, not for Eid al-Fitr.
right.
Oh, they do that here.
No,
3 days
that's
Eid
too
al-Fitr.
much. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
You got me
Trust
messed
me.
up.
I ask for too much, I think, because I used to like cry and complain to Allah like, oh, like I really wish I could experience Eid like with Muslims, and I'm just kind of like, I like, this sounds so bad, but like I wish that I would just like do the Eids that I did before I came here, which was like just spending
convert.
it. Yeah, convert Eids. You know what I mean? It's just too much here. Like, I'm just like, what is wrong with these people? And it's not even the right Eid. It's like Eid al-Fitr that they like go all out, but it's supposed to be the other Eid. You know what I mean? The other Eid, it's like quiet, like just they don't even do anything.
I feel like we should do something on both, and I feel like, especially for like youth and for kids and stuff,
definitely.
to really feel like
That's so important.
And you know, it's becoming more popular in like the different Gulf countries and all over to have Christmas trees and bring all these like shirk symbols in their
That's right.
houses and stuff. Like, subhanAllah.
That
And
is
I think
right.
it is. And what I was going to mention before is like the songs and these movies and stuff. Like, you know, it's almost kind of like subversive because, like, you know, it helps to cover up these origins of Christmas. And like makes you totally like think it's just a commercial holiday, and that's why you get these arguments all the time of like people being like, "Oh, it's just commercial. It has nothing to do with Jesus's birth. It's just a commercial holiday." You know, subhanAllah.
I watched like a clip, like just maybe a few. I didn't watch the whole thing, but the clip that Sarah sent in the group about the woman, the sister, or convert sister. I think she's a convert, right? Speaking out or speaking up about Christmas in Kuwait or something like that.
I saw that. I saw that too.
I was just like, wow, you tell them. Because like, honestly, like it's kind of sad that like coming, you know, like being a Muslim country or like even born Muslim, like you should know better, you know what I mean? But like, it's like subhanAllah, converts know more about the religion than you, which is kind of sad, you know what I mean?
People tell me that all the time.
True.
They're like, converts really like have a lot of knowledge and like seek more knowledge a lot of times.
But then you also get people who are like, converts don't have any right to speak because they don't know.
Ooh, excuse me, who says that?
A lot of people.
Wow, like born Muslims, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, girl.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
I find the most disturbing though lately is like the justification of all these different, not just Christmas, but like so many things. Like they try to justify it within Islam, which is like doesn't make any sense to me. Like the most common one I think is like, you know, Jesus is a prophet in Islam, so we should celebrate his birth.
What? I've never heard that one.
I have heard people
seriously?
say that. Boy.
Wow. Like, alhamdulillah, Allah gave us intellect. We should use it, you know?
Say
it's
it,
hard
girl.
for some people.
Say it louder for the people in the
Honestly, I think that actually we can. So everyone shared their nostalgic. Well, did everyone share their transition? Like I know Ashley, Fatima, you guys talked about it. Queenie, you talked about it a little bit, right? You said you're gonna try to do the gift giving yearly.
Yeah.
365.
Yeah, like I'm gonna try to give gifts more often throughout the year rather than just like on their quote unquote special day.
Right.
I don't know what else I could do to transition out of it besides just saying no, leave me alone.
Sometimes that's the only way.
I mean, I think depending on the person, you can tell them about like some of the origins of Christmas, but like not everybody's gonna care.
Yeah, not
Especially
everyone's gonna
Chinese,
care.
I feel like.
Yeah, like, I was like talking to my sister, like, how some of these things are related back to pagan dates, and they're like, oh, it's back then, not now.
Yeah,
That
that's a
actually
very
makes me
common
laugh.
response, I think.
Yeah.
Like, these things have origins for a reason, and then they modernize themselves to make it more acceptable in today's society. And that's
Exactly.
basically what's happening with all the religions on this dunya. And like astaghfirullah, I think Islam is slowly getting into that as well. Because a lot of born Muslims, they want to be so accepted within Western society because they deem it to be as cool. But, you've been gifted this religion with rules, the Sharia law, and everything within the Sharia law makes sense. It keeps us away from all harm, and Allah knows what's best for us through our mental health, physical health, and emotional well-being. So who are we to question His laws?
Exactly. Well, apparently lots of people are.
Those people need to check themselves.
Before they wreck themselves.
Exactly. Yeah, so
But that's like predicted that we're gonna like become divided and divide into different sects and things like that, subhanAllah. So like this is from the Prophet ﷺ that we would divide into 73 sects.
so.
It's signs of end of times and things, subhanAllah.
Yep, so scary. Like, it is so scary when you actually just sit for a second and think about, like, wow, tomorrow, okay, obviously, like, I mean, Allah knows best. Like, let's just say, wow, tomorrow could be the day of judgment. And, like, we're just still sitting, like, heedless, But, like, just taking a minute to actually think about that, like, wow, I'm, like, not ready to meet Allah. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, it's such a depressing thought. Anyways, I forgot what I was gonna say now. I'm actually working on our intro poster, like while we're doing this. So
I'm working on something else too while we're
Well, I'm paying full attention, so I don't know what you guys.
well, you weren't when I was speaking.
I know.
We were totally
I'm
talking
making up for it now.
No, okay, so let's get back on track here. This is the beauty of life. I'm actually not gonna edit this at all. And I'm gonna just post it. Because today's Wednesday, right?
Do it.
Yeah, Wednesday.
It
We'll
is
know who our
Wednesday.
true fans are. They listen
Exactly.
to the whole episode.
And 2 hours.
Oh my
2 hours of it.
MashaAllah.
Well, our sis Nora, she is one of our like committed fans, mashallah. So if you're listening all the way to this, like shout outs to you. May Allah make everything
put
easy
the
for you.
little, like giveaway thing in the podcast episodes. If we had like a giveaway, like put it in the like 2 hour mark.
We should.
All the way
Breaking
through.
down to a fit of giggles because, man, in the beginning, I almost did.
Well, it happens,
Yeah, it's
happens.
currently 3:20 in the morning. I haven't stayed
I
up
could-
late in a hot minute, you guys. Are we gonna do another podcast like this when like Valentine's Day comes around?
Oh yeah, or any like major holidays.
We should.
do one.
Ooh, yes.
What's the next one? Well, New Year's is like whatever.
Yeah, we could do for New Year's.
Then it would be Valentine's Day would be next.
Yeah, next. Yeah, February, right? Yeah. Oh, we should definitely, because I've seen a lot of, even here actually, I've seen a lot of like,
Yeah.
oh, Valentine's Day with my habibi, all on
Yes.
Instagram, like cringe.
I did a
She got
YouTube
me
video
these
last year
flowers.
about like basically how we don't celebrate it and like why. I made a whole YouTube video about it like the day of or the day before.
Oh, maybe we can watch that and like refer it back to your video, like how we did for Yusha's today.
So actually, like, it's funny because my mom is like more offended that I don't celebrate Valentine's Day and stuff than like
Oh wow,
Christmas. Like,
Why?
and it's because so also because my anniversary is like on the 15th, so it's like a day after Valentine's.
She thinks like
and we don't celebrate that either. So she's like, you should celebrate something. Like,
Your life
Eid.
is so boring.
I know, like we have Eid.
yeah, 2 Eids.
We have
too.
2 Eids. Like we get presents for each other. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's funny, but I think it's funny. Like she thinks it's like a big deal. We don't celebrate our anniversary or anything. And she's like, you can celebrate Valentine's. I'm like, do you know about Valentine's?
She doesn't know, I guess, obviously.
I think she does. I don't think she cares. I think that's the truth of like most people these days. Like they know the origins.
Yeah,
but they're like,
same with
it's so
Muslims.
far in the past that it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Okay, we should actually wrap it up because it's almost going to be 2 hours.
We didn't even start.
I know. Okay, well, we are nearing. Like, I think these two are the juicy questions, like the juicy topics. So we see a lot of Muslims particularly interested in this time of year. We sort of talked about that a little bit at the beginning. So born Muslims are particularly interested in this time of year, while as converts and new Muslims try to avoid it. What can we tell our brothers and sisters who say, it's just for fun, or we have to coexist and show them we respect them and their religion? What kind of advice or whatever, you want to say, to these types of people with these mentalities? What would you guys have to say to that?
Well, I kind of liked what Yusha Evans mentioned in the podcast. He kind of talked about how basically we're the torchbearers of monotheism in the 21st century as Muslims. Like we represent Tawheed and Islamic monotheism, and we have to be representatives of that. And I think especially as with us wearing hijab and being such visible symbols as Muslims, we want to identify ourselves as Muslims and really show people what Islam is about. And I feel like if we start adopting practices that don't belong to Islam, then we're not going to be able to show people what Islam is about, because we're just going to be showing them that we are assimilated into
very good
regular
point.
society. So I think that that's part of it. And then I think also just I really think part of it too is for Muslims is just instilling that love for Allah and the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I feel like there's such a lack of really true understanding of Tawheed and true understanding of who was the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and how was his life and I do think social media to a certain extent has been helping lately, and I think that podcasts and stuff like this can help with those things. So I think we have to keep on that stuff and doing dawah within our own community,
right,
in a kind way that doesn't tack on to people's trauma that they've gone through. So yeah, I think that we can just be positive, but remind them back to the Quran and Sunnah, and making it something that they want to learn more about, and not something that's scary that you have to go to Sunday school or something that you're afraid of your teacher and we're gonna beat you up or something. That's not
right.
The experience we want to portray here.
Definitely not. I think that's a really important points that you brought up. And this actually ties into our season 2 topic, identity, I think, because holding
definitely
on to the identity during these times, these holiday times, you know what I mean? It's something that we struggle with, and it's something that we really need to do, and we shouldn't sort of water down our identity to assimilate, like you said, or fit in with the masses.
And I think there's things that you can do during the winter, you can drink hot chocolate, you can make
apple
cookies,
cider,
you know, you
I
can
love hot chocolate.
So do I.
light a candle that smells like a pine tree,
Oh
those
yes,
kind
or
of
pumpkin
things.
spice.
Have a nice
Girl,
latte, get
this
your
is an
peppermint
all.
mocha at Starbucks. It's okay to
Because that's like a seasonal like flavor.
Yeah,
you know?
Fall. You got your fall scents, and then you got your winter scents.
I think those like you
Oh,
can
yeah,
still
true.
like feel those kind of vibes without like participating and like demonstrating something other than Islam. You know what I mean? Like, so there's certain things like I think it's fine if you want to go like drive through a nice neighborhood that has all their lights up and see the pretty lights.
Yeah,
But
why
You're
not?
not,
Light
you're not
bill,
putting
though?
them.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
That's another reason not to do
What,
it.
Queenie?
Their
bill.
light bill.
Their light bill.
That's why
What-
it's a certain
what is
tax
that?
bracket that has them in their neighborhood.
What is this? What is this called? This is new to me.
Like how people have like tons of lights on their house.
Like,
Like if you've been to like Niagara, like they have it like
light
that.
bill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how expensive it
I
is.
thought you said Lightville. I was like, what?
No.
Oh my God.
I mean, it might as well
Light
be.
bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did see somebody on Instagram that they made a reel and they're like, I don't take my kids to these lights. And I'm like, what?
Why not?
And I'm like,
There's
I still
something
be
like-
driving through, you know, and hand me a candy cane when I get to the end. Like,
But I also think
Oh,
that
God.
like kids are smarter than we think, and like
yeah.
I teach Sunday school for like 5 to 7, 8, 9-year-olds. Like, they understand that we don't celebrate Christmas, and they understand that it's a non-Muslim holiday.
Mashallah.
And like this is not something that's like super complicated to explain to like little kids usually.
Yeah.
So to say this is not our holiday, these are just pretty lights and we're going to look at them, like I don't think that that's an issue for most
Right. It
children.
shouldn't
I
be
feel
an
like it's
issue.
just parents that kind of like make it into a bigger deal than it is.
Yeah.
Like we can't, and I think, you know, there's a certain extent to like, and my friend was talking about this before, like don't make things like haram for your kids that are not haram. Like don't make it so hard on them. Like they also already feel pressure from outside, from other things. Like if they want to like roller skate or they want to dye their hair and they wear hijab, like it's not a problem. Like those things are not haram for them. So
Right.
like, why are you limiting them when it's allowed?
Making things hard. Yeah.
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 Yep. Okay. So, Ashley, Queenie,
Oh, yeah. I was like, what are we talking about?
advice to like born Muslims who want to participate. Who want to participate in the Xmas?
Man, whenever I think of that now, I just picture that reel that Queenie did with the treating the presents. Like, I'm not here for it. Okay.
I love that.
I feel like we should have like pamphlets
bad.
ready on like why we don't participate, and then be like handed to somebody, be like, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Like, a pamphlet of information about why we don't celebrate Christmas. Okay, but I don't know. You got to just do it in the most like polite way you can. If somebody's like tripping about it, you know. I think about how people are like, oh, the sister at the masjid, she's not wearing her hijab properly. She got toenail polish on. Like, you got to be delicate, you know? Like, we don't, like, sister, like, calling them out, you know? Like too loud. But be like, I can't participate in that. And, like, or, like, ask them a question like, hey, you know what? I'm kind of still new. Like, me, I feel like I've been Muslim forever, but I haven't been. Coming up on year 3, you know? So like, I'd be like, I thought we weren't supposed to do this because of this. And be like, a teaching moment.
Yeah, that's a good way.
Like flip it. And then when they like throw some hadith at them, you know? No, I really knew already. I just trying to teach you, you know?
Isn't that funny though? Like converts are teaching like born Muslims the religion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not funny, but it is in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because they try to tell us like we don't know anything. And I'm like, excuse me? Girl.
Yeah, it's like when we first convert, they try to teach us, but then like when we actually like practice, then we teach them.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes I come up with some like really complex questions and I'll like ask my husband. He's like sitting there like, I don't know. I never thought about that. Because like I get real weird with the questions. Like, so.
That's actually so funny. What about Queenie? Queenie.
I would say instead of participating in these shirk holidays and glorifying it. Why don't you glorify Eid and how you're supposed to celebrate it? You think Christmas is fun because you're looking at all these people do all these activities. They're going out of their way to put in energy to make it fun. So why can't you do the same for Eid?
Right. Mic a drop.
And when Ramadan comes around, my house be lit up like, well, Christmas, basically.
Yeah, I love seeing your decorations, mashallah.
Oh, it's so much fun, you know? And you just want to have that feel. And I'm like, I don't know why other people don't do this. People are like, oh, well, we've never really decorated for Ramadan. Like, even my husband's like,
Oh, but you do for Christmas? Like, what?
Yeah.
Literally, the
so
same people
weird.
that like have Christmas trees that are Muslim, and then like they don't do anything for Eid, and you're like, okay,
like, what?
Like, we're not hating, but we're just kind of like
No, we're
confused.
hating.
or a little bit hating.
We're hating, yeah.
We have the right path, brothers and sisters.
We're hating and we're judging and we're confused.
Yeah.
But I mean, it should be that way, you know,
But
because
it's
like
not. Yeah,
the religion is perfect. Why we have to make it like
but we're not doing it out of hatred for them. Like
Right.
genuinely care about them as people and as
Right.
Muslims, and like we
Yeah.
want.
it's
them
just the hatred
to-
for like the shirk.
Mhm.
There was a photo of two people in a masjid, and I don't remember like what the context of it was, but there was like a Christmas tree in the corner, and people were like, "What?" And I'm
In
like,
the masjid?
Huh?
"Yeah," and I was like,
What?
I have to find that. I think it was like a meme or something, but everybody like was distracted, and somebody was like, "Why is there a Christmas tree in the corner?" I have to find it.
Yeah,
I know what
please
you're talking
do.
about.
Like,
I think I
what
know
the
what you're
heck?
talking about.
Really weird.
Oh my gosh. What is wrong with this world right now?
Okay, so we have I think like maybe 20 minutes left. Let's wrap it up with advice to our new Muslims, and converts who obviously find this time of year very stressful. What kind of advice do you guys have for them?
I would say like take things at your own pace, and like try to, like your family and you know how they're gonna be with things, and like I mentioned before, maybe try to like give gifts at different times or things like that if you can, rather than on the day. Try to avoid like celebrating the whole thing. I know it's probably the hardest for people who still like live at home with their family. But if you don't live at home, then you have more of an option to like not attend like different
Right.
gatherings and stuff. So I think like does it include like haram stuff like eating pork or drinking alcohol, or is it just
Right.
like spending time with your family? Because sometimes or so I feel like a lot of times they'll do like gift giving in the morning, and then like in the evening you just like spend time with your family. You might have dinner or something. So like maybe choosing what parts of things you can participate in.
Yeah.
Also, like maybe not the most fun thing ever, but you can a lot of times get money by working on the holidays.
Oh yeah.
Like overtime
that.
and stuff. So if you really like don't want to like offend people, but you want to avoid something, you could like take an extra shift.
I just realized, like, I said that I wasn't home for Christmas, like, since I converted, but that's so lies, because I was home for 3 years. I just remember
drown them
that
out.
because you, I remember that because you just said, like, work during the, like, take shifts. And I remember that I used that actually as an excuse when I was teaching English, like, online. I said, like, oh, I can't, like, I have to. And it actually, like, it helped
Yeah.
a lot. So, yeah, I like that excuse as well. I mean, I used it myself.
Mashallah.
So, yeah, that's really good. Anything else?
I don't think so. Maybe Ashley.
Ashley Quinnan?
I like what you said about, like going at your own pace. And like everybody's like, like it's like when people ask about like advice for hijab, I always tell them like everyone's on their own journey, like it's something that's very personal, and like everybody's family is going to be different, like too, when it comes to like somebody not celebrating Christmas. And so, you know, I've always been told like you always obviously like still have to like be there for your family, but like do what you can when it comes to that stuff. Like it's going to be hard. It's not always going to be easy. So like do what you can, but like still be there for your family, but like remember why you're not doing it, you know? And I think educating yourself on the backstory of Christmas will probably motivate you a little bit because
Yes.
man,
For sure.
I feel like that was life changing. You know, that was like a little shock you to the core type of thing. But, you know, and there are going to be people who are like super extreme and they might like judge other people for the process they go through, but like they shouldn't. Oh my gosh, I think I just opened up a window. Anyway, I'm like up walking around my house now and the wind is blowing and the rain is blowing and I don't know what's going on. But
oh my gosh, it's raining?
yeah, which is like super random because, you know, like it's Canada and like where's the snow?
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
like
that's
windy
Canada
out
for
there.
you.
Yeah, the wind is
It's
like
super warm this year, though.
crazy. But I moved something and I saw the window jumped open. But anyway, yeah, it's
that's,
I feel like it's different from year to year too. But like I think it gets easier after a while. It might not be easy, but it will get easier. You know?
For sure. And
just
you know what?
Be with your family.
Exactly. And I think like first and foremost, like keep making dua that like Allah makes it easy, the transition easy. You know what I mean? Because what about you, Queenie?
I think, well, like I did mention, like in Alive, just to keep peace within your family, just to attend like dinners and stuff. Like you don't have to participate in doing shirk activities, but like make memories with them, because only Allah knows how much time you have with your parents, and you could wake up one day and they're gone. So it's important to constantly make memories with the people that you love, but also set boundaries for yourself so you don't like get too emotionally exhausted to the point where you don't want to meet up with your family ever again. You know? But you know, everyone's situation is different, but try to gauge what you can and can't do. Be respectful of everyone's decisions. They're not gonna be as respectful to you because of your decision, but that's fine, because we all need to be at peace with our decision. We've chosen Islam for a reason. So to be able to go through with our decision is super important, and also to see the end goal, which is constantly reminding us of Jannah. Inshallah, we all make it. Allahumma ameen. But, you know, that's always going to be the end goal. And when you always have death on your mind, it's such a chilling feeling.
That's right.
So constantly make dua, constantly make dhikr, and always remember you have Allah by your side, because nothing's impossible when you have Him by your side.
That's right. Jazakallah khair for that reminder. So I think that everybody said what I was thinking. And I think I would just
right now.
Yeah. And I would just add like a little bit, like adding on to what Fatima said, like and what Yusha Evans said in his the podcast. He was saying that, you know, it depends case by case. Like he said that, you know your family dynamics the best, so like whatever works for you. And I really resonate with that, like because everybody's family is really different, like and you can't expect like to give like a one shoe or one size fits all answer. Like we all know that Christmas, like celebrating and participating in it, is haram. Like we all know that. But like for I think a lot of converts and especially new Muslims, like it's so difficult for them to do everything all at once, you know?
Yeah.
So just like, you know,
And they don't have to.
Yeah,
exactly.
No one's asking them to.
Exactly. And if you do that, you're just going to burn out, and then you're going to find that Islam is so difficult, which it shouldn't be, and it isn't. So, you know, take it, like we always say, like a step at a time. You know, the end goal is like not to obviously participate, but they are, like Queenie said, they are family. You don't know when, like, you know, their last breath will be. We don't know when our last breath will be. So I think it's just really important to find that balance, and it's all about intention at the end of the day.
That's what I always say. Intention.
Yeah.
Intention. And Allah knows your intentions.
Also, what is really annoying, I think, like when I first converted, is like the whole background noise. Like you'll hear from like extreme, like I'm not going to mention the sect, but extreme converts, you know, like there's some converts that are really extreme, and they sort of shove everything down like a new Muslim's throat or like another convert's throat. Like, okay, maybe like it's easy for you to not like sit with your family during like Christmas time or whatever holiday, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be the same for like your next door neighbor convert. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just ignore those people. Like, it's just background noise. That's what I have to say about that.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah, I mean, there's extreme from both sides sometimes, so it can be difficult navigating. And I think that's why it is so important to like know your own family and just take things.
Just
at
do
your
what
own
works
pace.
for you. You know what I mean?
And stop like.
Because at the end of the day, sorry, let me just say this before I forget. Because at the end of the day, you are returning to Allah, and you are standing in front of Allah.
Yeah.
It's between you and
100%.
Allah. You know what I mean? It's not like the next sis on Instagram.
Yeah,
You and her.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything like very different to that. Honestly, like I mean, it's your own path. Like nobody can like live your life for you and make decisions for you.
Exactly.
You're going to be held accountable for your own choices. But Allah is also the most merciful, and we can't like forget that either. So like you have struggles, and Allah understands your struggles. So
Yes.
yeah, don't put like so much pressure on yourself from day one.
Yes. And also like the TCB community, like we're here to support our sisters.
Yeah, and that we're just like a small subset from the TCB community. Like, mashallah, we have plenty of people also, like, we have other admins that have different experiences probably, like, maybe have other experience. I know we have, like, some other sisters who, not necessarily admins, but, like, in the community that, like, still live with their family, for example. So it's going to be a very different experience, or who are more, like, their family is more religious or whatever. So... yeah.
Or not, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like we're all here for each other, inshallah. Oh, I think that's it. Fatima, you said here like your aunt sent a Christmas card and crossed out Merry Christmas and wrote Happy Holidays or Good Winter. That is actually really cute.
Yeah. I also don't really know what to do with it because it has like pictures all over it. So I'm like, I'm just gonna like tell her thank you and then probably put it somewhere.
Like put it underneath a set of books.
It's
really cute though. Or recycle. Okay, so is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
That's a wrap.
That is a wrap. Thank you guys for
hijab flip.
What?
I said hashtag hijab flip. And then random name.
And that's it, you guys. That's a wrap. So jazakallah khair for everything, and yeah. That's it. That's it. Like that's it. Good night, you guys. Here it's my day is just
good morning.
getting started.
Technically,
Yeah.
good. Now it's like good morning to everyone.
Yes. Okay, so I'll send you stuff on Telegram, and please give me your Snapchats.
Do you want to say dua at the end, or
I sent mine.
You can.
okay? سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
Amin.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam wa rahmatulahi wa barakatu. Bye.
Bye.
I don't know how to get off here.
Oh, there's like
I'll
a
just
little
end it.
exit thingy in the corner.